So I think that a psychological analysis of Cassie should definitely be discussed at this moment of time, especially because of what she is saying in these trials and how a lot of people are shifting and turning against her because she wanted certain things in the freak-offs. She voluntarily returned back to somebody after they, graped her. So, people are wondering, why is this happening? Why is Cassie behaving in this way? Why does some of it seem to be consensual? She seems to be confused. Cassie was also part of this. People aren't understanding. Also, the question of why is Cassie not leaving? Hey guys, it's Murad Murali, daily and consistent content. Subscribe to the channel and let's get straight into this video. So Cassie and Diddy have been together for 10 years, and in the first year of their relationship, Cassie did describe that there was DV. She unfortunately was, randomly and abruptly hit in a car, and Roger Bonds, her security, would run after her and make sure that she would not escape. And then she began to realize that she was mainly used just for these freak-offs. Now, a lot of people are asking, well, why didn't Cassie leave? I mean, A, Cassie has mentioned many times that she had tried to run away anyways. But B, when you are in a harmful relationship, it's extremely hard for you to remove yourself from that, especially in Cassie's position where A, she tried to, B, Diddy is a very powerful figure and you can be scared for your life, but also C, Cassie was traumatized by the pain that Diddy inflicted, and then with that trauma that she gained from him, she also gained a bond. She gained this close relationship to this man that she had a love for. She loved this man, she admitted it, and alongside that trauma that comes with it, it ended up being a package together, and she was bonded to this man through the trauma and pain that he gave her. So when there were so many instances where he would harm her, this is something that she would believe is normal, but at the same time she would then have some affinity towards this man, love for this man, and end up making excuses for the man as to why he was behaving this way. She feels sorry for him. She doesn't want anybody else to be in her position to do these freak-offs, therefore this position is for her. She also can't have him doing it with anybody else because she's attached to him. This codependent relationship, a Stockholm syndrome, this is very common for people who've been in abusive environments, relationships, either with their parents, with their siblings, and especially with their partners. It is extremely hard for them to leave, but also it's because of the affinity and love they have for somebody who is harming them. Now, why would you have love for somebody who's harming you? It doesn't make any sense. You have bonded with that person through the trauma that they have given you. It's a very powerful statement. You've been traumatized by them, but you feel like this is the way that it needs to be, that this is normal, that sometimes it feels good, that I'm the person that this must happen to, and therefore you are somewhat grateful. You can't live your life without them. You can't imagine your life without them, and therefore it takes people very long time to get out of these abusive scenarios, if they even get out, whether it's 5 to 15 to 20 years. Now, I did graduate in clinical psychology and cognitive neuroscience, so this is my alley, you could say, especially when it comes to neurology, mental disorders, brain chemistry, neurons, and how they are directly related to trauma that takes place in people's lives and the behavioral patterns that people develop. And so a lot of people were confused for today as well, especially that after Diddy unfortunately did what he did to her and finished on her, she then returned back to him a couple of weeks afterwards. The trauma bond that has happened here is why she is returning to this man. She does not know where else to go. She also feels that this is right for her. This is what she needs to do. This is what her body is telling her to do. So for those who are telling her you should have left, you are comparing yourself to somebody who's had a very different life and has developed different patterns based on brain waves and chemistry that you don't have. Your brain is developed very different to people who've been through SA and abuse, unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it. Someone like Cassie, who's gone through these levels of SA, has had her brain neurons literally rewired. Her brain chemistry is rewired based on the instances and events that she's gone through, and therefore different neurons have developed, and therefore these behavioral patterns can develop, which also can be addictive patterns, which is why I'm not surprised that she was addicted to opiates via Diddy and therefore had connections to dealers and kept taking stuff like this because she wanted to dissociate. It's a very negative cycle. You may not have gone through these level of SA, therefore your brain neurons are connected to different neural pathways And it's a very different conversation. That is what I really want to get to. The physiology, the brain chemistry, and how all of that changes in your body. Your body language within itself changes, but especially your brain changes when you've gone through certain patterns of unfortunate behavior. You bond with this particular person, and therefore you feel like you want to keep going back to them. That this is the only way to live, that this is what is normal, and that you know it's wrong, you know it's been painful, you know that it's not what you need to do, which is why there have been times where she tried to run away, but at the same time she knows that she can't go anywhere because this is ultimately her man and she can't survive without him. It's a very negative pattern. It's a very negative pattern that she has developed, but it's very common. Believe me, I know. I've experienced the same stuff. I understand what trauma bonding is, so I can see myself right through Cassie, and I can completely understand why she's doing what she's doing. She is the victim in this. The victim blaming from the defense is very sad to see, but the victim blaming from the crowd, from the people who are witnessing and reading this trial, is even more sad to see. Cassie is not some villain. Cassie did not harm people. Cassie is a victim in this situation. And I think it's very important to understand from a psychological perspective the analysis and relationship that she had with Diddy and how she is different based on the trauma that she's gone through. Her brain chemistry is different. People who've gone through levels of SA and abuse repeatedly, their brain chemistry is different. They feel like they need to keep going back to it. They end up having addictive personalities. You end up, your body language is very closed off. Your communication issues are bad. It can go in different ways based on your brain neurons being different based on the trauma that you have gone through. Cassie has gone through significant trauma. A freak off that she went through was for 4 days. That in itself alone is insane, let alone the hundreds of freak-offs that she's been through, or the hundreds of instances she keeps telling us in the trial about DV and what she has biologically and mentally gone through. This woman is a victim. She's not somebody who's part of Diddy's plan, or Diddy's right-hand woman, which is what people are trying to make it out to be, or that she was enjoying this just as much as Diddy was. Absolutely not. That man Diddy, it's very clear to see, was in control. Even in the hotel video, which I thought would have been enough for some people, let alone her lawsuit, which clearly is not. And so I want to remind people from a psychological perspective as to why this woman is a victim and somebody who is innocent here. She has trauma bonded with her abuser, codependent strong energy, a Stockholm syndrome, and when you go through levels of SA, your brain chemistry has completely been obliterated and it changes. Your neurons develop and they change, especially when you are a much younger age. But she was also quite young when she went through this as well, and she was with somebody with a 17-year span difference when she was 19, 20, and that person was in their much later 30s, giving them a 10-year album deal, which was very awful. Diddy created a perfect grooming ground for her. She was the perfect candidate for it. He already knows that. As somebody who's an abuser, they already know stuff like this. So it pains me to see that somebody like Cassie is being seen as a villain, or people are turning against her, or saying that she enjoyed all of this. Clearly you've lived a privileged life. You don't understand the significant levels of SA, which is great for you. And in this day and age, guys, I guess ignorance is bliss, because the more you know, or the more that you've been through, the more painful just any analysis or experience can be. So this week for Cassie is difficult. She's pregnant as well at the same time, 8-9 months. She's about to be cross-examined tomorrow and be dragged by the defense. It's going to be an absolute madness, guys. This is covering this trial, it's very heavy, guys. It's not easy. It really isn't. Let me know your thoughts are, guys, when it comes to this video. Do subscribe to the channel, comment down below, give this video a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. I really wanted to get into the psychological perspective and have the conversation of the negative relationship that Cassie formed with Diddy that she felt was normal. This is why she's always out and about with this man at events and etc. She couldn't just get up and leave. She also felt like this is the man for her and that this is what she needs to go through. That's how deep the psychological manipulative abuse and horror was for this woman. It was so deep for her. The trauma is so deep for her. That's all she saw for a very long time. She had great feelings for this man, even after how he violated her so many times. she felt like this is my only safety. My only safety is somebody who is abusive towards me. Do you realize how dangerous and scary that is? And when you fall through that hole, it can take a very long time for you to get out of there, even if you do get out of there, because your brain is telling you this is normal, this is for me, this is what I'm worth. I'm only worth the SA. I'm only worth what somebody has done to me. I'm only worth how Diddy treats me. That is my worth, and therefore I must stay here and please this person. I must do what this person tells me to do, and therefore, you know, the way he inflicts harm upon me, it's, you know, a special bond that we have. It's so dark and deep. It's really out of people's realm, if we really want to, you know, talk about it. Some people just can't grapple or understand this because they don't have the scope to, because they just don't have the experience to, they don't have the education to. They don't. And so therefore people take the easy way out and say that this is what she just loves to do. But it's not like that. Even in the midst of freak-offs, she could enjoy certain things, but that doesn't mean that this is what she wants to do. She didn't set this up. She didn't bring these people over and initially hire them. It wasn't her idea. She was instructed to do all this stuff. She will not be doing all of this if Diddy was not in the picture. Let's be dense another day, guys. Please, let's be dense another day. I wanted to get this video out there because I wanted this just to be a conversation out there for people as a separate video. Again, subscribe, send a tip if you guys wish to, and I'll catch you guys soon for another video. Tomorrow we are going live discussing, so get ready, guys. As soon as the defense begins, because the defense is beginning straight away, I want to get into this as soon as it starts, which is probably around 2-3 p.m. London time, which is around 9:30 a.m. New York time. But yeah, subscribe and I'll catch you guys soon.